Good afternoon, Year 4, and welcome to your PSHE lesson of the 2nd of March 2021. So your learning objective today is to understand the different roles in a friendship group, and you are going to look at different scenarios, some of which you may have been part of or similar to, discuss the role that each child plays in that scenario and think about how the children could solve the problem. So as a start, I would like you to think about what you would do in these situations. So your friend always wants to sit next to you, but sometimes you like to sit next to someone else. I know this happens a lot in this year group. Or your friend asks you to play after school, but you want to go around to a different friend's house. Okay, so the main thing I want you to think about when you're looking at this is that you can always say no or disagree with someone without hurting their feelings. It does not mean, okay, that they will fall out with you. Okay, so have a little think about what you would do, okay, in those situations. So what words or phrases can you think of to describe these animals? So I've got some ideas here for you. So mice are often described as quiet, dogs as loyal, and cats as sly. So some of the words that you use to describe the animals can also be used to describe how humans can act too in different situations. Okay, so there's lots of similarities and adjectives that we can describe animals as and humans as. So what we need to understand is within animals and groups of humans, there are people that become followers and people that become leaders, and both are fine. You may be a follower in one situation and a leader in another, depending on your confidence and how happy you are or different situations. So whether you are a follower or a leader, you are valued just as much as each other. And there are lots of different scenarios where you can change role. Okay, so let's have a listen to this scenario here. It is time for PE class in school. The teacher has mixed the children up so they are in teams with children they don't normally work with. The teams are competing against each other in a race. Imogen and Zainab argue because they have different ideas about how to get their team to win. Harry sits down because he's fed up of them arguing and lets them get on with it. He doesn't really care about the race anyway. Tina Marie has a good idea, but she doesn't say anything because nobody is listening. So have a think about how you can describe the children in this situation. For example, you might say Tina Marie is shy because she doesn't want to share her idea. Or maybe Tina Marie is fed up because she doesn't think anybody would listen to her. So have a think about Imogen, Zainab, Harry and Tina Marie, and jot some words down to describe the role that they play in this situation. Okay, so hopefully you've got lots of different words there. What I would like you to do now is think about the different roles the children have adopted. Are there leaders? Are there followers? Are there people that are quieter than others? Is there more than one leader? Is there a conflict in this scenario? Is there an argument that's going to happen? What roles have Harry and Tina Marie chosen? Can the children problem solve this situation? How could the group work better? And can anyone be more assertive? So could anyone sort of say what they feel or stand up to people and be a little bit more confident? So have a think about that and jot down some ideas. One thing I will say is that we've got Imogen and Zainab that are both trying to be the leader, which is causing a conflict. So have a think about a similar situation you've been in school. How could you solve this situation? Okay. So what you've got to do following on from that is you have been given two different scenarios on Teams on a Word document, and you've got to answer the following questions. Firstly, who is involved in these scenarios? Then, what role has each of the children taken in the group? If you were in the situation, what role would you take and how would you solve the problem? And could anyone have acted differently to make the situation better or easier to solve? So today is all about looking at different situations and the roles that different people play in those situations. And if you scroll down to the final page of the Word document, you will see a challenge where you compare the two scenarios and you discuss which scenario was easier to solve, which one did you find easier to find a solution to and why? And did any of these scenarios involve peer pressure? Now, peer pressure means that you feel pressure of other people to do certain things. I'm sure we've all felt peer pressure But why is peer pressure more difficult in certain situations? For example, if I was put into a situation where I was peer pressured, I would probably find it more tricky to find a solution if it was a situation that I was new to or less confident about. Okay, so have a think about what affects peer pressure, and that is your task on Teams. And finally, what I would like you to do on the end of the Teams document is just have some reflection time and think about what you've learned about different roles in friendship groups and how can you overcome peer pressure. So do a little bit of research into peer pressure and think about how you can overcome this. So hopefully that made sense and you enjoyed your lesson. It's really important to think about the different roles in friendship groups in certain situations, and hopefully you can apply some of this to your own life in school and outside of school in different friendship groups, and understand that no matter the role you take, you are valued in your friendship group, and you might take different roles in different situations, and that is totally fine. In one situation, you might be a confident leader, but in another situation, you might feel more comfortable being a follower.